they were doing some immigration raids in, I think, Omaha, Nebraska. And there was a couple of businesses that were raided. Something like 80 people were arrested. And the people running the businesses are not being charged with any crimes.
Right.
But all the people that are undocumented working at the businesses will be put up for deportation.
And that is exactly how you would fix this problem. You would literally, if you started charging the businesses,
owners,
put them all in jail for a fucking year, and then that would stop. It would stop completely. There is a help wanted sign in this country that's so huge in neon lights. That's why people cross the border. That's why they're coming in.
Yeah, we're punishing the people that are working at these businesses trying to make a life for themselves, but we're not punishing the businesses that are breaking the law and exploiting the labor of these people.
But, I mean, I think if we just go back for a second and think about if you think about Trump's playbook and the Project 2025 and those 2 pages that you mentioned, Gina, this is manufactured chaos. Literally,
sure.
He's like the arsonist that basically lit the fire and then fucking coming in and pretending to be the fireman.
So I live in Nebraska and Iowa, which happens to be like 2 very big farming states, but also 2 very big states who have meat packaging plants in the state. We have Tyson, Hormel, and like a bunch of other ones. I can't remember. Those are basically like the big ones here. But they are like flipping out right now, like the farmers and the meat packaging plants, because they rely heavily on immigrants, okay? Especially that of like Hispanic and Latino descent, okay? When it comes to immigrants, workers, they rely heavily on them, okay? Because they make up like more than half the workforce in these meat packaging plants and these farms in Nebraska and Iowa. They're literally shitting their pants right now because they don't know what they're going to do. They don't know what they're going to do. And a lot of these immigrants are like freaking out right now because he's about to be in office. And ICE is having raids in Bakersfield, California. And it's only a matter of time before they start doing that here in Nebraska and Iowa. I mean, both states are very deep red states to begin with, but these farmers and meat packaging plants, like, they really fuck themselves over, because what are you going to do? And I was having this conversation about how losing immigrants, losing these workers is going to have a huge effect on meat, like the production of meat, the production of everything, like, because Nebraska is a beef state and Iowa is a pork state and a corn state. Both of them are like, there's a lot of agriculture there, and like the production of meat, poultry, pigs, like corn, all of that is going to be detrimental to the state of Iowa and Nebraska and to the entire country, because they rely heavily on immigrant workers. And I'm so sorry to say, but the white people in Nebraska and Iowa aren't gonna do those jobs. They refuse to do those jobs. So I don't know who the fuck is gonna be working at these farms and meat packaging plants, because more than half of the workforce are all immigrants. Like, the white people in Nebraska and Iowa talk about how they want, like, the jobs to only be American and stuff like that, or like, you know what I'm talking about. And I just don't see them doing the jobs that they're not going to do it. Okay. I've lived here my entire life. I know for a fact the white people are not going to do that job. They'd rather be on welfare than do that.
Civil warrant in hand, ICE and its federal partners executed the largest workplace enforcement operation in Nebraska. Roughly 100 individuals who ICE claims are here illegally were removed from their workplace. Many scattered when officials arrived. Some were hiding in freezers that hit sub-zero temperatures. EMTs were on hand and checked nearly every individual out to ensure that they were okay. One man hid in a wall compartment and refused to come out, even with a canine on hand. Officers say that man pulled box cutters on agents. The district attorney tells us that he will be charged with assault on a federal officer. The owner of this company says that he used E-Verify. The many working for him were pulling the wool over his eyes by using the identities of U.S. citizens. Gary Rohr tells us that he essentially has to rehire his entire workforce, and he's worried about the business suffering.
ICE raided a Nebraska meat plant yesterday, despite the company claiming it followed protocols and used government-approved tech to verify workers' immigration status. Here's what we know. At around 9 a.m., immigration authorities conducted a raid at Glen Valley Foods in Omaha, Nebraska. They apprehended about 75 to 80 people. According to the Associated Press, the president of the food packaging company, Chad Hartman, said the company's front office was shocked by the aggressiveness of the ICE officers. The plant uses E-Verify, a federal database designed to check and confirm the immigration status of employees. Hartman expressed confusion about the raid, saying the company relies on the government-mandated system to ensure compliance. When he asked ICE officers why they were being targeted, he was told the E-Verify system was broken, according to the Associated Press. He told them, "This is your system, run by the government, and you're raiding me because your system is broken?" Immigration officials notified the Omaha Police Department in advance, but the company said it was not warned ahead of time. According to Hartman, ICE agents identified about 110 individuals suspected of working with false documentation. A small group of protesters gathered to oppose the raid. For context, the Center of Economic and Policy Research, a think tank, has concluded that more than half of all meatpacking plant workers are immigrants. What do you think about the rise in ICE raids? Let us know in the comments.
Hi, if you don't know me, my name is Meggan. I am an owner and managing partner of Tiny House Bar. I run our social media. I also used to be a translator who helped Latinos organize unions in the meatpacking plant industry, which is being raided by ICE right now. So I do have a couple of things to say. Um, it has been common knowledge that the meatpacking plant industry in Omaha not only passively employs undocumented workers, but we had evidence for at least 30 years that they would take vans down to the US-Mexico border to Ciudad Juarez and bring back vans full of undocumented workers, give them fake papers, put them in 15 to 20 people to a one-bedroom apartment, and employ them in the meatpacking plant industry, a famously dangerous industry. These factories were operating at 2 or 3 times the legal speed, meaning if they were rated to be able to kill like 500 cows a day, they were often killing 1,000 to 1,500 cows a day. Very dangerous work. If any of these undocumented workers got hurt, good for the company. Instead of giving them expensive American medical care, they could just deport them. Just call them immigration and have them deported. Same if they ever had the nerve to organize for like, oh, I don't know, regular bathroom breaks or stand up against the often abusive treatment from management, sexual harassment, make a comment about the rats that were regularly getting blended into the meat, the Freon that was getting dumped into the water supply. I mean, the conditions were horrible. And this is recent times. And the response from the management was to just call the migra, have them deported, and get a new wave of immigrants in. Do you think this systemic illegal behavior was ever addressed? No. No. So spare me this pearl clutching about legality because it only goes one way. It is only addressed when it's the supposed illegal papers of the workers and not the ownership who is recruiting and employing them. And it's not just a, oh, whoops, they got in. It's the strategy. It's their profit management strategy. And there's no plan to replace them except for another batch of workers, of undocumented workers or migrant workers. There's no plan to replace them in the restaurant industry, in the construction industry. Latinos are fabric of our society, not just in Omaha, but throughout the United States. I find it insulting that Stephen Miller raised the quotas for how many people that ICE should be arresting a day. And now it's our elementary schools, our industries, our workplaces are being raided, and we're being terrorized, whether you're Latino or not. The message is for all of us. So I stand with our Latino community. Fuck ICE forever. The next slide is going to be for a legal help organization that can help the people who are suffering in our communities today.
After the horrific, massive ICE raid in Omaha, let's check out how our local leaders are reacting here in Nebraska. Ewings, Omaha's new mayor, came out and clarified that the local police in Omaha only knew the ICE raid was going to happen somewhere, but they did not know where, how many, or who those individuals were. That said, ICE did ask the mayor to provide both traffic redirection as well as protest management, something that they both provided and seem happy about doing. Ewings mentioned that he also wanted to work with state politicians. But if you know anything about our state politicians, you would know these are pretty much just Republicans. Ewings' response is clearly both cowardice as well as very destructive for the local community. Working with ICE in any way only serves to encourage them. And as noted in the many articles which covered this, the more ICE raids that happen, the more fear will occur within the region. Not only are you going to be deporting hard workers as was deported yesterday, but you will be causing many people in the region to also just not go to work at all. And when so many people aren't going to work and many people aren't going to businesses to buy things, you're going to close down a lot and ruin the local area. That said, a LULAC representative did come out in support of Ewing's, perhaps because Omaha is the least worst city in terms of ICE collaboration so far. Pillen, of course, seemed quite happy with the raid and was very excited to enforce the law. Just look at his face, smirking while local Omaha communities and businesses are destroyed, completely ignorant of the fact that a lot of our farm workers and construction workers are also Hispanic. These ICE raids are simply self-destructive and will never put anyone first.
Yeah, Waverly, I am live here at the Glen Valley Foods near 72nd and J Street, and as you can tell behind me, there are a lot of people who ended up showing up on the scene, and they blocked off the road leading up to the facility, and there's a heavy law enforcement presence. The Douglas County Sheriff's Office was at the scene at the time of the arrival. They didn't confirm it was an immigration and customs enforcement raid. Those I spoke with who have family inside tell me they believe it is a raid. One man tells me this was his day off, but he came to grab some things. He says he's a U.S. citizen, and he also adds that when he was let in, they put a green wristband on him to identify that he's a citizen.
They have the right to remain silent. They have the right to an attorney. They have the right just to request assistance at this point. And I do not know if that is being provided to them. We're very concerned that a lot of the women that just walked out, they were crying. And that's something that will really put a lot of pressure on us because we're concerned for the children that are going to be separated from their parents. We're concerned for the economy. Businesses are shut down today on 24th Street, and this is impacting the economy in Omaha in general for all.
That worker I spoke with also told me that he wasn't allowed inside of the building, only inside the parking lot, and that they had him fill out information. And he also says that law enforcement is, quote, lining them up like it is a raid. Another person whose family member is undocumented inside there says that they're being held inside the cafeteria and they are putting zip ties on people. Back to you.
Mi gente, estamos agarrando fotos y información de gente que la migra está en las calles de Omaha, Nebraska. Están tocando en las puertas. Por favor, no contestas. No contestas. Tengo más información en los videos en mi perfil. Por favor, ve, encuentre ese número de emergencia. Voy a poner más información para abogados aquí en Omaha, Nebraska, que te pueden ayudar con más información. Lo más importante ahorita, protégese. No contestes la puerta.
Looking at the videos at that Glen Valley meat packing plant, right? That meat plant in Omaha, Nebraska. If you look at the video with the people who are sitting in the break room, now this happened on June 10th, right? Look at the people who are sitting in the break room. You notice they were just on break. The videos are on TikTok. You'll find them. They were just on break in a relaxed state, and boom, ICE just walked through the door. The people are in shock. They're in panic. They look extremely fearful, right? It looks, they set this up real good. They set it up really, really good because they blocked off all the doors. That means nobody could move, even if they wanted to. And the people are just scared and intimidated. You understand? This is what I mean by they are eliminating due process. And they told you that. They told you they're removing due process and that they do not want you to go to the court because there's a chance that the court may grant you whatever you need to stay in the United States. They don't want that. So they're using government strong arm, brute force, military power, as you've seen in Los Angeles, and now also in Texas, right, to fight against the public. That's what it comes down to. That's what it comes. That's where it's at right now. So you've seen it in LA, you've seen it in Texas, and I promise you it will be in other states. You see the momentum. They're building this up. They're using the military. Look at what the government is doing. They're using the military against civilians. When every city, every state in America, every county have enough personnel in their police department, in their squad ops department, they have enough personnel to take care of whatever protests or whatever uprising is going on or not going on, looting, whatever. They have enough people to do that. But as a show of force, they introduced the United States military, put in troops in a quagmire situation, you would say. Because believe me, a lot of these military service members, they do not want to be there. A lot of them don't even like their leader. So they don't want to be there. Okay? You can see it. Go watch the videos for yourself. Peace.
Nebraska, you fell for that shit. When he said that the illegal immigrants had black jobs, you thought that once they were gone, black people was coming to work your farms? Oh, yeah, y'all thought y'all didn't read between the lines. You didn't. He may have said that, but no, the illegals did not have black jobs. They had their jobs, okay? And now, Nebraskan farmers, those are your jobs. Yeah, they're all your jobs now. Because your illegals are gone. They're either gone or hiding. But don't get it twisted. Our jobs are doctors, engineers, scientists, chemists, nurses, CNAs, executive assistants, executives, directors, entrepreneurs. That's who we are. I guess y'all had it twisted all along. No black people are going to work on anybody's farms, okay? If you want to see that, go watch a fucking movie. All right, Nebraska. All right. Carry on. Go milk a cow.
Man, I just want to give a prayerful shout outs to the south side of my city in Omaha, Nebraska, man. They got the ice raids going on again today. You know what I'm saying? I just want to be, I don't know, gang. I'm really at a loss for words for this type of event. It's just kind of crazy to me, you know what I mean? Like the way that they doing it and how they going about it is just nuts, man. You going up to people's jobs while they working, trying to make, some ends for the family, and y'all trying to take them from there straight to the hub to send them right back to Mexico or send them wherever that you think they from. Like, that's just crazy to me, man. And the South Side was one of the first sides of the city to ever show me love, like to come out, experience like the cultural side of the restaurants. I mean, getting free food, getting discounted grub, just coming out to new restaurants in general. And it was all from the Latino community, you know what I'm saying? And they mess with me. I mean, I don't know if they think I'm Afro-Latino or not, but I'm just straight black, you know what I mean? And they embraced me, loved me, let me come over, you know what I mean? Treated me like fam off the rip, bro. So, I mean, it's just really one of those tough situations. I hate that my family on the South Side is going through that. I just want to send love to y'all, man, and hopefully y'all make it through the day, man. It's your boy, DayGo.
If you're in Omaha, Nebraska or Fremont, I've been following up on the news, and it sounds like these are all rumors that ice raids are set to happen today all over the meatpacking facilities in Fremont. And there are so many. I bet they won't touch Governor Pillins, though. And then in Omaha at Lala Foods. It sounds like Omaha Steaks as well. And they may have tried to raid it yesterday and they didn't have a warrant, so Omaha Steaks didn't let them in. So good on them for that. But just know the raids are set to occur throughout the week. That's what I'm hearing. So I'm going to post resources here. Here is a list of attorneys you can call in the event something happens. And another good resource is CIRCA, C-I-R-C-A. Their website is circaconnect.org. Their phone number is also listed on this page. Once again, nothing is confirmed. This is just what I'm seeing on Reddit and on the comments I come across on TikTok. I hate to give this advice because it really does give into what the conservatives want. But I do think it's safer for people of color to be in more densely white areas like West Omaha than it is to be out and about in their communities like Sato. I don't live in Omaha anymore. I'm down here in Austin, Texas, but I want my community and all communities to stay safe. So I'm just offering up what I can.
Hello, I'm Juan with the Nebraska Examiner. I cover politics in the state of Nebraska. I just wanted to update you on a story that we just published late today. The governor, Jim Pillen, has authorized the National Guard, activated the National Guard ahead of some protests for tomorrow. Those protests were planned in advance, and they were part of the No Kings protests that you've probably heard about for this weekend, as Trump's having his parade, his military parade, Saturday, and also the protest has also turned into anti-ICE, or the response to the Omaha ICE raid that happened last few days ago. So those protests are happening. The governor, he said people can protest, but if it gets hostile, or if it gets too much, the National Guard will be ready to step in. Most of the protests in Nebraska have been pretty peaceful. There's some protesters were arrested during the original raid, or during the original raid. They were actually, I'm not gonna. You can read it up there. I'm not gonna allegedly, of course, but they were basically being being aggressive towards the ICE officers, or are they officers, or ICE, while they're doing the raid, allegedly, of course. Just wanted to update y'all on that. So we'll see how the protest goes. We plan to we are doing a story about the protest that happened in Omaha today, during the opening of the College World Series, and we're also going to monitor tomorrow's protest as well. So all right, have a good one.
Well, Monday night, Omaha, Nebraska got a new Democratic mayor. We're very proud. And then on Tuesday, Trump was like, we're going to punish you for your bullshit because you don't worship me like the king I think I am. So I'm going to send ICE to raid Omaha. So ICE started their raids here in Omaha on Tuesday and Wednesday. There are great organizations on the ground providing help to families in need. There are protests scheduled here in Omaha. I am not talking about a lot of it on social media because, well, honestly speaking, it's just for safety reasons and to make sure that these families are not harmed. But I am going to say that there are a lot of really good people working to fight this. And Omaha doesn't play around. We recognize that we are being punished for electing a Democratic mayor who goes against Trump and has come out and said very eloquent things about the fact that immigrants are part of our community. They aren't violent criminals that the Trump administration's making them out to be. These are families. People are being picked up on their way to appointments with immigration. People are being pulled from their jobs. These are not violent criminals that are being swept up off the streets. These are families that are being torn apart. So Omaha is doing its best to fight. We have several protests planned. I will share them as they happen. Just again, for safety purposes, I won't share them early. Just know that Omaha is not giving up. We're not backing down, and we are not going to give in to a fascist dictator regime. We will be a part of the No Kings protest on Saturday. Omaha and Council Bluffs are working together on that. So if you don't know where that is, there are plenty of places to find out. It's been quite a week. Prayers and love for all of the families being affected. And in the meantime, there are some amazing organizations. If you're not sure what to do, find a local organization that is taking donations to help with legal costs, groceries, and that type of thing. And make sure you donate to them so that those families are not forgotten during this time of absolute deplorable humanitarian atrocities. You guys have a lovely day and keep up the fight.
So there was an update from Nebraska. ICE raided a meat company, a meat plant, and arrested over 75 employees, 75 to 80. They're not showing the exact numbers. At first they were saying 100, but they was exaggerating a little bit. The owner said that they all passed through E-Verify. That's where you verify their, who they are through their social security and all their information and stuff like that. So the owner says that they must have been using somebody else's identification. I don't know how that works, but check it out. Thank you guys for watching TV. Like and subscribe, repost for this. It only takes a second. I appreciate you guys. Peace.
Thank you for watching Great Minds Blacks.